One of the biggest unanswered questions of all time is, how much money should I be saving every month? And while you would assume this would be an easy question to answer, the reality is that finding the right answer is anything but easy. This is due to the fact that most people either don't save at all and can't offer a viable solution, or those who know the answer will only tell you if you sign up for their $5,000 mastermind, and quite frankly, neither of those solutions are going to get you anywhere. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how much you should save every month in order to be rich. And if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button below for more life-changing content. When it comes to how much money you should be saving every month, the answer is, it depends. Now before you rage close this video, let me tell you why. You see, how much you save depends entirely on your goals. Most financial goals can be broken down into three categories: short-term goals of less than 1 year, medium-term goals between 1 year and 5 years, and long-term goals of 5 years and longer. Common sense would indicate that saving up for a short-term goal like that vacation you wanted to go on at the end of the year would require you to save less money every month than saving for a larger long-term goal like accumulating $500,000 in your retirement account. And as you would imagine, saving money in order to be rich is not something that will happen overnight, which is why I like to classify it as an extreme long-term goal. And as promised, I'm going to share with you exactly how much you should save in order to achieve this goal and reach financial freedom. One would think that saving up to become rich would require you to save the majority of your income every month, and while saving 80 or 90% of your monthly income would definitely expedite the process of becoming rich, the reality is that you can save much less than this amount and still hit your financial goals. So how much should you save? The rule that I stand behind is saving 20% of your monthly income, and you may be thinking, well, why not 15 or 25% instead? Don't worry, I'll get to that. Based on numerous analyses, assuming you're in your 20s or 30s and can earn an average investment return of 5% a year, you'll need to save about 20% of your income to have a shot at achieving financial independence before you're too old to enjoy it. Here's the thing, if you want to work like a dog every day until you die, maybe you don't need to save all that much money. Sure, you'll still want an occasional vacation and something in an emergency fund in case your car breaks down. Beyond that, however, we save so that one day we no longer have to work. For most of us, that day won't come for many decades, but there are regular working people who reach it as young as 40 or even 35, and quite frankly, this should be everyone's goal, assuming you can start early. And yes, if you were able to save a larger percentage of your income, then you can become rich sooner, with the ultimate goal being the ability to retire. And this concept comes down to the 4% retirement rule that states that you can live off your savings if you can accrue 25 times your annual living expense, which will take the following time frames based on 3 saving percentages I've mentioned in this video. At 15%, you can accumulate 25 times your annual living expenses in 46 years. At 20%, it takes 41 years, and at 25%, you can start your retirement in just 37 years. As you can see, by saving 20% of your income, you'll hit 25 times your annual income in just over 40 years. That means a 30-year-old who starts saving today, assuming no prior savings, will hit this target by 71. If you save less than 20%, it will simply take too long for your money to grow to a point where it will allow you to live off just interest. Admittedly, there are a lot of people out there that can't afford to save 20% of their monthly income every month. It could be due to poor spending habits or that they are pushing hard to pay off their enormous student debt. If this sounds like you, don't stress. Saving something is better than saving nothing. One approach I suggest for people who are just starting their savings journey is to start small. Save just 1% a month. Then, when that seems manageable, increase it to 2% a month, and scale the savings target up until you hit 20% as I've recommended. As you've come to realize, unless you can save a ridiculously high proportion of your monthly income, you'll need to be saving for years to amass a significant wealth. Because of this, I highly suggest you have a financial plan, and the budgeting technique I recommend is the 50-30-20 method. If you're unfamiliar with this technique, let me briefly explain how it works. Every month, you divide your income into the following 3 ways. 50% is designated to living expenses like rent, utilities, and groceries. The next 30% goes towards entertainment costs like going out to eat or seeing a movie. The final 20% is meant to go right into your savings account. Now, while you should be saving 20% of your income every month, that doesn't mean you should be saving it in the traditional sense. Most people make the mistake of saving money and letting it rot in their checkings or savings account, and this is a terrible money mistake. You see, the average savings account yields just 0.09% interest annually, which means that even if you have $50,000 in savings, you would earn a measly $45 in interest. I can promise you that $45 a year is not going to make you rich. And as I previously mentioned, in order to strike it rich saving 20% a month, you need to be earning an average annual return of 5%, which will require you to leverage the power of investing. This process of building wealth will take a few decades to pull off, which is why you need to keep things as simple as possible. As a result, I have found the most effective way to manage long-term investing is to rely upon a robo-advisor. For those unfamiliar with robo-advisors, here's a quick rundown of what they are and how they work. Robo-advisors are software products that can help you manage your investments without the need to consult a financial advisor or self-manage your portfolio. You usually open a robo-managed account and then supply basic information about your investment goals through an online questionnaire. Robo-advisors then crunch the data you provide to generate an asset allocation approach and build a portfolio of diversified investments for you that meets your target allocation percentages for those investments. Once your funds are invested, on an ongoing basis, the software can automatically rebalance your portfolio. That is, make the changes to the investments needed to align your portfolio back to a target allocation. This way you can assign a minimum targeted return of 5%, which will keep you on track to hit your ultimate savings goal in your intended time frame. As easy and reliable as this process can be, there are always people who want to race to financial freedom, and for those people, I will now share 3 ways you can do just that. The first way you can hit your savings target faster is to lower it. This is common sense. It will take a lot less time to save up $1,000 than it will $1 million, but as I said before, the amount you save is directly proportional to the amount you are trying to accrue over time. However, lowering the savings target means lowering the value of your future wealth. So the next 2 points are ways you can speed up the saving process and keep the goal of being rich intact. The second way to speed up your achievement of the millionaire status is to increase your monthly saving percentage. As you saw, saving 20% of your monthly income will allow you to accrue 25 times your annual living expenses in 41 years. But as our savings percentage rises, the time it will take to save a fortune decreases. So how fast are we talking? Saving 50% of your income every month will allow you to reach your savings target in just 26 years, and 75% will have you in the top tier of wealth in just 21 years. Now, these savings amounts probably seem ridiculously high for most people. You may be saying to yourself, 20% is a stretch, 75% seems impossible. And yes, very few people can actually save this large proportion of their income. Generally, the people achieving this high level of a savings percentage are frugal high-income earners, or those whose expenses are significantly lower than the average person, like someone who lives with their parents. Nevertheless, if accumulating wealth is one of your top priorities, then even if you can't save 70 or 80% of your income, you should strive to save as much of it as you can, because even a few percent can shorten your savings horizon by years. The final way to expedite your path to riches is to leverage retirement accounts and employer contributions. For simplicity's sake, the numbers I have previously shared relate to before tax money going in, assuming that you'll pay taxes on the money coming out. But tax-sheltered retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs change that equation for the better. If you take advantage of these accounts, you can get away with saving 20% of your net or after-tax income. Most employers have retirement account programs for their employees, and if yours does and you qualify, then you should absolutely use it. Money you contribute to a Roth IRA now comes back to you tax-free when you're older. So the more you save in a Roth, the less you'll need to save in total, because you won't have to pay taxes on the Roth withdrawals in retirement. Contributing to a 401k will also help ease the pain of reaching a 20% savings rate, because most 401ks include an employer contribution component. Essentially, your employer contributes money to your retirement to supplement whatever you contribute yourself, up to a certain percentage of your salary. So if your employer offers a 5% match, then you really only need to save 15% of your paycheck. Plus, if you're putting money into a 401k, this money will be deducted from your paycheck before taxes, which means that each dollar you deduct will save you some after-tax cash. Let's use an example to illustrate how this full process would work on a monthly basis. Every 2 weeks, you make $1,200, which is $1,000 after tax. As we've previously discussed, your savings goal should be 20% of your after-tax income, or $200 from every paycheck. If you make a pre-tax contribution to a 401k of 5% of your paycheck, and it's matched by your employer, that means you put aside $60 from your check before taxes, and your employer kicks in another $60. That's $120 into your retirement account every month, and your after-tax paycheck is only reduced to $969. You still owe yourself $80. You could put half into a Roth IRA for additional retirement savings or send it off to be invested using your robo-advisor. This means, after all that saving, your take-home income is still $889 every 2 weeks, which is only about 11% less than your previous paycheck of $1,000. By taking advantage of your employer match and pre-tax deductions, you manage to almost double your savings rate. Talk about bang for your buck. And there you have it, the complete answer to exactly how much money you should be saving every single month to be rich. Thanks for watching. If you want to go from the life you have to the life you deserve, then hit the subscribe button now.